Hello, everybody. Samantha here with Clarity Marketing and Design. This is the PowerPoint I did for my guest speaking session at our Women in Business Expo on March 8th. And really, only people who attended got to listen and learn from it. So I thought I would do this as a pre-recorded little webinar that I can share with people that weren't able to attend. This guest speaking session at our event had an amazing attendance. People were really interested in it, and there was a lot of positive feedback on it. So I wanted to share it with more than the people who were able to attend in person. Okay, so marketing your business in 2023. So a little bit about me, just in case you don't know who I am or you've never attended one of our webinars. So once again, my name is Samantha. You can call me Sam. I do not have a preference. I probably say Sam a lot more than Samantha. My family moved from British Columbia to Ontario in early March 2020, days before the pandemic. We moved into this house March 12th because I was like, oh, the kids have spring break next week. I need to unpack. They never went back. I've been in business for over 17 years. This coming summer will be my 18th year in business, which is crazy. I specialize in marketing, web, and graphics. My background education is in marketing management and web development, the really nerdy coding stuff. I'm a busy mom to 3 children, and I love teaching and sharing the knowledge. Last year, we did a free webinar through Clarity almost monthly. I've also done webinars through the Laurier Women's Entrepreneurship Center, Launchpad Brantford, and the Brantford Resource Center. We're hoping that maybe this fall we'll start doing some webinars again. I also teach part-time with Conestoga. It is my 3rd college that I have taught at. I always love these little quotes and stats and stuff. Content marketing is really like a first date. If all you do is talk about yourself, there won't be a second date. First of all, we've all been on those dates where this is very relatable. But when you actually think about it in the sense of marketing, it's true. If we're always about sell, 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 me, look, it just doesn't quite hit people in the way that you want to connect with them. We have to be relatable and authentic. So this, when I read this, I was like, that is perfect because it's 100% true. So first, let's talk about your team. And I am going to say, stop trying to do it all yourself. That day at our expo, there was also someone that talked about burnout. And I felt like those two go together, trying to do all of the things with your business yourself, having your fingers in all the different parts and pots and components can lead to us burning out. And so you have to grow your team at some point. There's only so much you can do in a day. There's only so many hours in a day. And if you don't eventually grow your team or delegate, you will bottleneck the growth. I've been there. There's still times where I'm like, oh no, am I bottlenecking it? Oh no. You will bottleneck your business growth because you're trying to do it all and all yourself, and only so much can get through at a time. So you will stop your own business growth by trying to manage it all on your own. Okay. So how do we grow a team? Well, there's lots of different ways. I've tried out many of them and I've had many components. So I'd probably say, if we go up like maybe cost wise or involvement wise, let's start with your high school co-op student. They are free. You can definitely find someone local. Mine have always worked remotely because I don't need them beside me in order to do the things I get them to do. I will record videos. I will, share screenshots. I give them that training. The thing with high school co-op students is that it is a lot of mentorship. It is not send them an email, you give them barely any information and be like, okay, go do it. They're like, well, I don't know how to do this. So it comes with a ton of mentorship and time. The point of their co-op is to see if what the things you do might be a career for them down the road. So it's a testing for them to test out all these different components. So my students get to do, like right now we have one from St. John's. He wanted to focus on graphic design, which I am getting him to do. But I said, there are other components that we do in other services. If you want to learn about those, then I can task you with those things. So he's working on email newsletters and MailChimp. I got him to do some website reviews. He is doing graphic work, but it's mostly in Canva because what we create, we have to be able to hand over to our clients after. So I can't have those things in InDesign and Photoshop. So he's been working in Canva. He did create us a brochure that I have here, all through Canva, and I got them printed. And they actually look really great. He did a really great job. I don't know if you can see it with, I got front and back. So he designed this in Canva, started with a little bit of a template, but not much. And yeah, so now I have new brochures. I get them to do things that I actually need done, whether it's for my business or for clients of ours. Not just like, oh, just create this for fun. I do try to actually task them with real work. So that's one thing, is your high school co-op student. Right now, this student is between 12 to 15 hours a week. He came on mid-February and will stay on until the end of June. I really do like taking on high school students because that was me. I started my business when I was 18 years old. So that was me at that age, trying to figure it all out. Me having my own business was definitely not the plan when I was in high school. I wanted to go into journalism. So I was writing at the papers and stuff like that. So it's a bit of community, giving back, but it takes a lot of mentorship because you need to train them to do those things. So yes, it's free, but do you have the time? Okay, next from that would be your university or college co-op student. Those are paid. They are full-time for their semester. So we had a student for twice. So we had them from January to the end of April semester this time last year. And then he came back in the fall. So we had him September to the end of December, which was great that I could have the same one back because it really cut down that onboarding. But when he first came on, there definitely was an onboarding stage. They will have more experience in what you're bringing them on for than a high school student, because they might have taken a course or two, they may have had a job doing it, and they might have tinkered with it themselves, but there's still mentorship and training there, because once again, that is the point of co-op, for them to try out different things, learn as much as they can while they're doing it, so they can figure out what they want to do after they're done college or university. So our university co-op student was doing all sorts of things so that he could kind of dabble in different things. And I really tried to involve him in the business, but then I was really also open about the back end of my business. What was working that month, what wasn't, what client didn't work out, what did I have to do with that? I'm really honest and open about that with them, so he can figure out, like, oh, do I really want to own a business? People might think owning your business financially is this great thing when it isn't always, right? So they are money. So I paid him $25 an hour. It was 35 hours a week for 4 months straight. So that's a chunk of change, but then I can apply that to my taxes, right? So the next from there would be contracted help. That way you're not having a full-time permanent employee. And that's why I went with the co-op student at the university. It allowed me to try out a full-time employee, but then I knew I only have him for 4 months. So that way, if financially it's not a good fit, or there are times with my business we have quiet times like the summer, so it allows me to bring someone on when I need them. But it was really great that I could have the same student twice, because then if I had a different student in the fall, I would have had to spend the first 2 weeks onboarding all over again. So that's probably one of the cons about it. So hiring contracted part-time help, that could be your VAs. We really saw during the pandemic, the whole VA industry really uptick and become more common and popular. The thing with the VAs is, I'll say, I can do it all, but you definitely want to find someone who has a background in marketing, not just, oh, I've ran some social media here and there, or I can, put together your website. You really want to find someone who actually is qualified to bring them on if you're wanting to help you with your marketing. But that's an option of, some have packages of 20 hours a month or 5 hours a week. So budget wise, that would be really good to start out with, but they would be contracted. That's still a write-off for your taxes, but that's different involvement when they're not an employee, right? But that is something that could help your business. You've got a little bit of work, you want to try this out. You don't have time to fully mentorship someone to train them how to do it, but you need to make sure that that VA or that part-time help actually is qualified and has case studies and can prove that they are really good at marketing. Otherwise, it might not quite work out. And then from there could be an actual part-time employee to help you with your marketing. They could still work remotely. You could have them in your office part-time, depending on where you work from. But that is another option. That way you're not promising them full-time work. You could always say this could potentially lead to more hours depending on our busy seasons and stuff. But you could always just say, hey, 15 hours a week, here's what you're getting an hour to help with certain things. But you really have to map that out of what they'll be doing each month so that it fits within their work and job description. And then you have your full-time employee or your full-time or almost full-time outsourced agency that specializes in marketing, has done it for many years, and can fully take this load off of your shoulders and bring you to great success. But all of those different things are different budgets, different involvement, different lengths. A lot of agencies will say, 6 months to a year is when you need to sign up with us. You can't get out kind of thing. For example, we have a service called We Are Your Complete Marketing Department. I haven't found a better name, but it's really self-explanatory. We are your complete marketing department. It's exactly what it sounds like. And it's a 3-month minimum. So it's not a 6-month commitment, not a year commitment, 3 months. And we can't really do any less than that because it's really hard to get something going in a month. With 3 months, we are able to really get something off the ground, really going to where we can prove the social stats, the website stats, whether it's sales, leads. We are able to prove in that amount of time. Everything we create, we hand over after. So the big component with it is that we're setting them up to take it on after if that's what they choose. And hours wise, it depends on the client, but it's not like you only get a certain amount of hours in this package, which we probably should, but it's a 3-month minimum, and it's between part-time and full-time that we do for them, and all things marketing, as we are their marketing department. Okay. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And when I think of that too, it's also the reputation. What are people saying? What are people sharing about you? And hopefully it's positive. Next thing you're going to need for 2023 is a website. And that should be your first thing when it comes to marketing, not before the logo and not before the branding and stuff like that. But when it comes to okay, I've got the name, I've got the logo, I've got the bank accounts, all those things you need when you're starting a business, website is huge. Don't start posting on social media if you don't have a website. Don't start growing don't start any of that marketing until you have the website, because that's where you're going to send everybody to. So if you're already doing the marketing and all the communications going through social media, just send me a DM and all that. It's really hard to transition when you're now we've got the website. Now I want you to go through there. So I suggest do the website first before you start marketing it, because those different marketing avenues should send them back to your website so that they can request a quote, sign up for your email newsletter, watch that webinar, whatever your objective is to have people complete on your website. For example, my number one goal with my site would be to have people request a quote to fill out that form. I get some information. I can then arrange a discovery call with them. And I guess the second goal would be to have them look at our portfolio and stuff so that they could be like, oh, they're legit. They've been doing it for a long time. Maybe they see some stuff on our site. They're like, oh, I love that. Like, I want my website to look like that. I want to work with them, right? Some people's goals on their site might be to actually grow their email list or sign up for that free offer or something like that. Our website needs SEO. And SEO is search engine optimization. So when someone is in Google and they're typing in, web designer Brantford, let's just say, I need to be able to come up so that they can find me. Now, when there is SEO and we're looking on Google, there's like the 3 different components. And I have a separate webinar on local SEO. You can find it on our site and on our YouTube. So I won't go too much into it because we have a whole webinar on that. But at the top of the Google search, we have our ads, which are the Google ads. Those are paid to play, but they show up first and they really look like normal search engine results because they want to make them look as natural as possible so that you do click it. They make money. Then we have the Google Business Snack Pack or the local pack. You'll see like a bit of a map and then about 3 or 4 business listings. Those are pulling right from your Google business listing. So make sure you have a Google business listing. I should have a separate webinar on that one. That was the one I've done the most of during the pandemic. And then below that is our organic search results. Organic meaning we're not paying to show up there, but that's your SEO. So it might be a combination of maybe doing some Google ads, which are very complicated and technical, but at least make sure you have a Google business listing and then you're showing up down below, not only for your website, but possibly for other directories. I have moved a lot over the years. My husband was our CMP for 12 years, so they move us. Every time I moved, I would have to redo my SEO because I was in a new community. And it would take some time to get my website back up in the search results for that new community, even though my business had been around 10, 15 years. So I would look for local directories like the chambers or local shop directories to get my business listed on, because those will show up sooner than my website because I had to redo my SEO. So if you have a new website, it will take time to show up in the organic search results. Look at other directories, whether they're local or your Google business listing or even chambers, like those type of organizations that you can get a listing on, because that will help with your SEO. And then those are backlinks to your website, and Google loves backlinks. Your website should have things like contact forms or galleries, your portfolio. It really depends on the business. Always, always, always have an about page, because an about page really connects that there's a real person behind your business, that you are local, especially when people want to support another Canadian business or another Ontario business or another Brantford business. Make sure you make that clear, and share your why. Why do you do this? How are you an expert? Why should I come to you? What makes you an expert? What makes you good at it? Use the about page. Some people are like, oh, we don't need an about page. Yes, you do. It is really important. If your stories are all about your products and services, that's not storytelling. It's a brochure. Give yourself permission to make the story bigger. Social media. All right. And for some people, like, oh, I hate being on it. It's consuming me. Sometimes I would like to take a break from it too. I don't have a choice. I chose a career in marketing that ties me to my phone and my laptop. Do I need social media for my business? I would say, for quite a while, I'm more of a referral business. Do I still get clients from it? Yes. But if my social media went poof tomorrow, would I be okay? Yes, because I also have an email newsletter. I have my website. I have referrals. I have my contacts and networks. Like I would be okay. In the last year or two, we've really seen a lot of Instagram accounts get hacked, get deleted, completely removed. They had to start all over. I had a client, this happened to a client. She was a website client, didn't touch her social media, but all of a sudden her Instagram just went goodbye. They deleted it, not even deactivated, they deleted it. So my question to people, when I can see that they are focusing on, say, just Instagram and they're pushing their posts to Facebook, they're not doing email newsletters, like they're putting all their time and money into Instagram. So my question for people when they do put all of their eggs in one basket in that sense is, if that account got deleted tomorrow, would you be screwed? And if the answer is yes, you need to rethink your marketing and spread it out and not put all your eggs in one basket. Because we don't own our social media. It could go tomorrow. And if you are like, oh my God, that would ruin my business, then that is a clear, deciding factor that you need to, whether it's, bring someone on like me to help you, or to, okay, I'm not using my email newsletter. I need to grow my email list. Like just find other ways, other channels. So that way, if one of them ever poof and went tomorrow, you'd be like, okay, I'm okay. Do you have to be on every social media account? No. Not every business needs all of the social media, different profiles and accounts. So how do you figure that out? Well, you can look at competitors. It doesn't have to be local competitors. It could be within the same province, a couple of towns over, or other Canadian competitors, and see what accounts are people most commonly on that they're using. Okay, they all have Instagram. We should probably be on Instagram. They all have Facebook. Okay, we should have Facebook. The other one has Twitter. Okay, you make that call. They all on LinkedIn. So that's a good reference to see what your competitors are on, especially if there's like all of them are on certain ones, then definitely get on that. Also, how much time do you have to manage these accounts? So for clarity, I have my personal LinkedIn profile. I have the company LinkedIn page. I have Instagram, and then I have a Facebook business page. I think that's it. I do have YouTube, but that's just where I upload stuff so I can, grab the YouTube video and embed it on our site. I don't heavily, really grow our YouTube. So I would say those would be the main ones that I use. And even then, that's a lot. Another really common question is, how many times a week am I to be posting? And I have a colleague who also teaches social media, and he does a lot of pro tips through his Instagram, Tim Campbell Smith. He's a wealth of knowledge. And he made a really good point one day when he talked about that is, what do you have the capacity for? If you have the capacity to post 5 times a week, sure. If you have the capacity to post twice a week, okay. And I thought, that's a really great answer, because it really depends on the person who's managing that social media. And if that is you, you're also the business owner. Maybe you're also a parent. Maybe you're, we wear all these different hats. So your capacity will depend. And maybe like, hey, for this month, I want to post 3 times a week, be consistent, maybe every other week, do a reel. And there we go. So you can set some goals like that for you, but don't go full force at first. I'm going to do 5, and I'm going to do a weekly reel, and I'm going to, whoa. Because you might end up burnt out just from trying to keep up with that goal. It's whatever the capacity you have, but then try to stay consistent. We'll see when people okay, they go really gung-ho on their social media. They're going there, and then they go really gung-ho 3 months there, and then they, so try to stay consistent. Even if it's just twice a week, it's better than going quiet for 6 months and then starting all back up again. Because in that time, when you're not posting, people are going to go, what happened? They were posting heavily. They're not anymore. Are they even still in business? So stay consistent, but whether it's twice a week, 3 times a week, 5, that is up to you and your time and your capacity. There's some really great social media tools. So for us, our really common social media tools is a scheduler. Yes, I use Later for clarity, but we have a client that also uses Plan That. She really loves that platform, and that one's pretty good. For any clients that don't have a scheduler, because most of those do cost, we'll schedule it through Facebook. We can schedule things through Facebook, next to Instagram. I can even schedule things in an event, which is really helpful because we put on webinars and events. So I'm actually able to go in there ahead of time and schedule that same post if I want to utilize the same post, and I can schedule it in the Facebook event. So the more that you can schedule your social media, whether it's just a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, the better. Because what happens when we are posting on the fly is we forget. And then we're like, oh no, I haven't posted today. I'm just gonna whip something together, send it out, but then there's no marketing strategy or thought put behind it, and hopefully grow your business because we're just posting on the fly. So by scheduling, you're like, okay, I'm gonna just schedule 3 posts this week, say for the craft show. We have a craft show coming up, and Mother's Day long weekend. And so I'm just trying to post about 3 times a week right now for that. And I'm sharing a bit of like vendors, about the actual event. And so I'll make 2 out of those 3 posts featuring a vendor, and then 1 post of like, sign up for an email newsletter, where to find the event, those kind of things. And I'll work on those on the weekend, and then I'll schedule them for the week. So I'm only doing it a week at a time for that. I could go more, but I'm really busy in other things. But at least I know that I have those 3 scheduled, done. They look great, they sound great, and they have a marketing strategy behind it. So scheduling is really important. Utilize it. Especially if you're going away for a week or 2. Get those done, schedule them. That way you can post a variety of things. So for me, if I had 2 weeks where I needed to figure something out, we still needed some business. It's not like quiet time. It's still like, okay, no, we still need some clients. I would post maybe a testimonial or 2. I would share some recent projects we finished up. Do we have an event coming up? We also do have a separate webinar on planning your social media. So this is really helpful that I've turned this into a webinar, because a lot of the stuff I'm talking about, we have separate webinars on already. Do we have to have it? For most businesses, yes. Especially if you're still in that brand awareness. So if your business is only about 3 to 5 years old, you're still potentially in the brand awareness and building the brand awareness stage. And social media is great to help you with that. Stopping advertising to save money is like stopping your watch to save time. And we've had those clients. We're like, oh, I need to stop this. Has been working. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm like, well, you're just a month in, first of all, but no, that's exactly why. And I've worked for bigger companies. I've been a marketing manager for resorts, and sometimes like, oh, let's pull that back. It's like, no, you have to really give it a good go. A month is not enough. 3 months is still pretty minimal. But if you are consistent and heavy on the marketing and full force for 3 months, you should start to see those results within that 3rd month. But you have to keep going. So for us, when we do that 3-month marketing package for someone, we give the training and the tips and everything so that they can continue on. It would be really bad if we do those 3 months and then they just drop off after. And the ones that we've had, they continue it on with all the tools and the resources. They repurposed, reused. It was great. That way they would continue on that heavy thought out marketing, but they just didn't have to plan it out anymore. We had it all set up for them. They just needed to continue it. Email marketing. I love email marketing. It works for me and all the different entities I have under Clarity. I think it's a must-have. I know there's a lot of people like, oh, email marketing, it's just It's not. I tried it once. It didn't work. You need to try it consistently for months, not just send one or two out. Email marketing does take a bit more time, but they can have a better, sales conversion because they already know you. They are following you. They signed up for your email newsletter. Maybe they already bought something from you. So email marketing is really important. And I will talk to businesses where they're like, well, I don't like receiving those type of emails. So I'm not going to send out those type of emails for my business. Whoa, 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 whoa. And this is where my honesty and bluntness will come in. I'm like, you are not your own target market, right? Let's say that again. You are not your potential client. You are not your target market. So just because you have separate preferences of how you want to be marketed to, that does not apply or go over into your target market and what their preferences are. And that's why it's great to have your social media, your email newsletter, different social media, maybe a blog, maybe webinars. That way they can keep in touch with you in different ways. Some people love signing up for email newsletters and get those. Some people love connecting with someone just on Facebook. Some people love just following someone on Instagram. And then there's some of us that, do it all and follow you on multiple platforms. But that allows your customers, your clients to follow you or stay connected with you or sign up in a way that they prefer. So don't pull something away or out of your marketing just because you don't like that type of marketing or you don't like seeing someone post 5 times a week. That was another thing I had someone said to me once. I was like, you're not really posting on your social media like at all. So do you need new clients? Do you need more customers? Like, do you need to grow the business? And well, yeah. Like, okay, then why aren't you posting? It is a tool. It is there. Well, I just see some of these businesses that post like 3 or 5 times a week. And I think that's just too much. And I don't want to be one of them. So instead, this person posts like once, not even like once a month. I'm going, okay, that is not, that's not a good example. Like, don't apply that to your business based on your preferences and what you like to see, especially when people don't like social media. Some people are like, I just hate social media. I don't want to be on it. Well, your business still needs to be on. So yes, you are not your target market. Email marketing. So I utilize MailChimp. A lot of our clients use MailChimp. It's a great place to start. Do some people outgrow it and they want different features and functionality? Maybe they want something more technical or in some people's minds, something better. Then there is constant contact. Oh my God, there's a lot. I did a webinar on email marketing and I had done a poll and I mentioned at least 10 or more different popular email marketing platforms, and MailChimp was still the #1 of people using. Now, say if you have a Wix site, your package might include email marketing through there. Shopify, you could do your email newsletters through Shopify, same with Square. I like having it separate. I have my websites on WordPress, so we utilize MailChimp. And I am able to integrate my MailChimp account into my website in various ways. My contact forms or my request a quote form, as people fill that out, it pulls it in. Any events that people can sign up for on my website, pulls it in. My QuickBooks, it connects to MailChimp also. Pop-up form, a sign-up form. Make sure that whatever you're using is integrated in that website as much as you can. With MailChimp, if you are on a paid version, you can also connect it to your Square, so your payment processor. Let's say you have an e-commerce website with WordPress, which would be WooCommerce. You can connect it. We can connect it to Google Analytics. So if you have MailChimp, go in on a regular basis to those integrations to see what else can you integrate it with. That way, you are kind of growing your email list from your payment processor, from your website, potentially social media, any forms you use Calendly, is that able to integrate, and so on. How many months do you send one out? I do about 1 to 2 for my type of business because mine are more updates. in that sense of what's going on, what's upcoming. And so I'll include like anything that's upcoming, anything that wasn't included the last one that is new. Any projects we recently finished that I can feature, any new clients that I can talk about, mine are more updates. And I will send them out to our email list. But I send about 1 to 2 a month. The thing with sending something out, say through MailChimp and many of the other platforms, is you get stats. How many people opened them? When was the best time that they all opened them? How many people clicked? So there are 2 goals with your email marketing. Get them to open the email first. So that subject is very important because it's what captures them to open it. And then number 2, you want them to click. You want them to get back to your website, to sign up, to register, to request a quote, to book a call. So those are the 2 goals, is to get them to open the email and then to click somewhere in that email. So all of your images in your email newsletters should link somewhere, not just text, not just buttons. Make those images linkable also. Use social media as an idea generator, trend mapper, and strategic compass for all of our online business ventures. This is great. As we see, like sometimes we'll see something trending, like, oh, I'm going to hop on that. I can apply that to my business. It allows you to see what's popular, what's not. Take a look at your competitors. What are they kind of doing? For me, it's an idea generator. Do I use it to copy? Do I use it to steal ideas? No. Sometimes I'll see something like, I could apply that, but in a different way. So for me, social media is a great idea generator, especially when you're like, I got nothing to post about. I got nothing going on. We've already featured all of our projects. We have no new clients right now, but I need a post. So sometimes me looking at my competitors somewhere in Canada, I could go, oh, I like that. Okay, we can make that. We can take that idea and turn it into our own. Video. It's something we have to do. I don't mind video. Like I do these webinars and I guest speak. I put together a course and it was, I did a lot of voice and video for it. I'm comfortable with video. I probably could be doing more. I needed to be doing lives on Instagram. But let's say you're not on the fly. Let's do lives on Instagram. What other videos could you do? So these webinars are great because I can take a clip of this webinar and post it on my social later. And then be like, hey, if you want to review the whole thing, go here. Then I put it on my YouTube. So it helps just with my YouTube and the channel. I can dissect it in different ways. And then I can also put it on my website. So if you go to my website and go over like webinars, you'll see all of the webinars I've done. So I'm able to take one webinar and, cut it up through different clips through social media. I can send it out in my email newsletter. I put it on the YouTube. I embed it on my website. So from one video, it can go in all your different marketing avenues and become content for you. So like a 45-minute video, there's got to be like at least a handful of clips in there and little tips that you can kind of pull out and utilize on your social media. So that's one thing. Another is actually get some professional video done, like a little bit of like an intro or about video, what we'd see kind of like more like the commercial style, so that you can put that on your about page and someone can watch it. So that's really helpful. And that's a bit more scripted. That's a bit more planned. You can edit it. Not as nerve-wracking as going live on Instagram. Trying to think what else when it comes to video. We have to utilize it. So that's where our reels come in, and Instagram lives, Facebook lives, possibly webinars, or actually professional videos getting done, or even slideshows, depending on if it was an event. What kind of clips and pictures do you have? YouTube is Google. So the more video we utilize on YouTube and on our website makes Google happy. Also, those videos, I can post into my Google business listing. I can post them really anywhere. So one video, even if it's just something like this, it's nothing fancy. I'm in my comfy warm sweater today. That can create content for me on all of my different platforms, whether I share the lawn video. The lawn video is on my site. So I'd use those little clips in my different marketing to get them back to my website to watch the whole thing. We need to accept that we won't always make the right decisions, that we'll screw up royally sometimes. Understanding that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. I've been in business for 18 years. You bet I have had some times where I did not make the right decision, or I didn't say the right thing, or I could have handled it differently. I started when I was 18. I had no one to look up to starting a business. I had to figure this out all on my own. And so at a young age, I had to figure it all out. And has it always been perfect? Absolutely not. To me, when something doesn't work out, that is an opportunity. So for example, sometimes we don't have a great client match where it will work out. Sometimes it's personalities, that kind of thing. So sometimes we have to go our separate ways from the client. And I use that as, okay, how can we prevent this happening again? Sometimes it's just what happened. Sometimes it could be some behavior that we don't accept when it comes to our treatment. There's a variety of things of when we discontinue working with a client. But for me and my team, it's, okay, here's what happened. Here's what went down. Could have been prevented. Could it be prevented in the future? What do we need to implement so that this outcome doesn't happen again? And sometimes that's fixing up our web design questionnaire, making it longer and more detailed. Sometimes it's where we are marketing to. And sometimes it's just following my gut. And when those red flags happen, I need to listen to them and not take that client on, or that won't be a project for us, or whatever it is. But there's a lot of things that continue to happen in your business that it has to be part of change, unless you want that outcome to happen over and over and over and over. So almost quarterly, I am adapting, streamlining, and changing things with my business so that whatever happened, whatever lesson, whatever outcome, whether it was person, project, whatever it was, team, whatever happened, won't happen again, hopefully. So it's part of learning and part of making your business even better and getting to success, because you're going to adapt and change and streamline and pivot so that whatever happened won't happen again. Google. So there's different ways to utilize Google. I mentioned Google Ads. It's a pay to play, very techy. A lot of things to set up and connect. And if you miss some of those, then you're not going to be able to get all the stats, and you need a large budget for it compared to social media ads where you can have a much smaller budget for it. Then you have your search engine optimization. So getting that done on your website, going to help other directories, other websites, get those backlinks. Google business listing, that is free. Get on it and post to it, utilize it. Make sure you don't keep a basic Google listing. Make sure you go back in and optimize it. You have your video with YouTube. Blogging helps. Google likes new, fresh content on your website. You can't really live without Google. Other tools in Google that I use often, other than the Google business listing, would be my Google Workspace for my team and I. So my domain, I have the email set up through Google Workspace. We use the Drive all the time for between team members and our clients. When we onboard a new client, I'll let them know, like, okay, you can send this, these next steps to us either through Dropbox or Google Drive. Most people use Google Drive. And then when I do their training videos later on and stuff like that, I do all that through the Google Drive. So I use Google Drive all the time. I even use Google Slides. That's where I do all my slides. So there's a lot of tools with Google that we need to use. Now I'm on here alone, so this doesn't apply. But I hope that was helpful. This is what I discussed during my guest speaking session at our Women in Business Expo on Wednesday, March 8th. That was in Brantford at the Marriott. I only had about like 30, 35 minutes to talk, and then I had some questions. We only have 45-minute slots. So this was probably a bit longer. So how can clarity help you? Well, we can help manage your social media. It's a 3-month minimum. We do about 3 posts a week. We come up with everything. And you get to actually review and approve. And then we schedule, we'll post it, but then we help manage your accounts to actually grow them, also get engagement. Then we can be your complete marketing department. That's also a 3-month minimum. And it includes that social media service, along with email marketing, website updates and maintenance, any content writing, graphic design. If you have things that are not in place with your business, like, oh, let's get you on MailChimp, let's get your website connected to Google Analytics, overall marketing. Really, there's nothing we don't do with that. And different businesses have used it in different ways. But the most common was some website help, SEO implementation, some audits, making the website faster, email marketing, growing it, but sending some out, social media, and other marketing tasks. And then we can create you a website. We specialize in WordPress, but right now we are helping people who are on Wix or Shopify. And then we have people coming to us for custom designed WordPress websites. I also just recently took over shopbrantford.com, shopparis.ca. So if you're in Brantford, or Paris, and you need to get your business on some other more local directories, I have a separate webinar on that. It was like an info session type webinar of what is it, how to get on it, and also you could book a call with me. One last thing. This comes out on Tuesday, April 18th. It is part of a series. This one was the Change Edition. It kind of came through through the pandemic, and I am one of 15 co-authors. So I've got a chapter in here with a whole bunch of amazing, where is it? Women. I'm in there. And so these are really relatable chapters. You don't have to be a mom, but if you're seeing this possibly tomorrow or later this week, it is available on Amazon. Just go to some of my social media and it will be on there with some links, and you could get it digitally, or you can actually purchase a hard copy. I have 10 hard copies, but I'm not sure if they will still be around. I have some people like, I'll pay it. I want you to sign it. All right. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. If you want to book a free consultation, we do free discovery calls. You can go to our website and click the book consultation button. We only take on a certain amount of clients in May and June so that our summer isn't, insanely busy. The summer is our downtime naturally with our business. So if you do need to get onboarded, you want to get started with us before the summer, or possibly, have your website done before the summer, connect with us soon, because at some point we'll have to, no more clients until September. Thank you. Have a great day.